Happy Friday, people, and welcome to this final day this week of the Angela Ray Show. I hope that you all have had a great week. As you come into the broadcast, definitely hit me up in the comments and let me know where you are watching from tonight. I would love to connect with more of you. I know some of you come in and you're very quiet, you watch, but you don't say much. And then others of you are very active. You ask our special guest questions. I appreciate that. They appreciate that. So definitely let me know where you are watching from tonight. Give you all a few minutes to get on. And then we're going to get started with our Ray of Motivation moment, as we always do here at the Angela Ray Show. Tonight, I'm really excited because we have a very special guest. We're going to have our first chef here at the Angela Ray Show. So let's see who we have. Hi, Mr. Shelton Brown from Charlotte. Queen City is in the house. Shelton, why do I feel like I know your name from somewhere? You know, that's what a lot of people say. I know you from somewhere, but your name does sound familiar. Hi, Diane Nixon. How are you? A long time no see. Hope that you are doing well. Oh, you would be so proud of me, Diane. I have been doing, if I must say so myself, a really good job with my vinaigrettes. I won't share our recipe over the air, but I'll tell you one that I've been doing. And my base thus far has been, I've been alternating with my acids, both lemon juice and lime juice. Lime is my favorite, but when I can't get my hands on the lime, I'll just go ahead and use a lemon. Hi, Patricia Graham from Charlotte. I miss you too, Diane. This is, wow, it's like, it's been a minute. I don't think I've seen you since August. Patricia Graham from Charlotte. QC is in the house. Now, where is Gastown? Because, see, we got somebody from Gastonia on tonight. So I know Gastown is going to be in the house eventually. We're going to go ahead and get started with our Ray of Motivation moment. Our Ray of Motivation moment tonight is, I'll pose this question. Are you looking under the mask? Are you looking under the mask? So right now in our country, in our world even, so many people have decided that they're going to take the CDC's advice and wear masks. But that's not the kind of mask I'm talking about. A few months ago, I was out car shopping. You know, I'm going here, going there, looking for a new to me car. And there was one car that I came across online that just really caught my eye because it was pre-owned, but it looked immaculate. There was Armor All on the tires. The car was waxed. It had been detailed on the inside, even under the hood looked amazing. And actually the ad said, if you do not think that this car is the very best car that you could buy, I will give you your gas money back from coming to see it. So I was like, okay, what do I have to lose? So I went, made an appointment, checked out the car, test drove it, went on the interstate, got up to 70 miles an hour to make sure that it wasn't shaking. There were so many things that I was able to check out about the car, and I felt really good about it. But of course, you know, you have to sleep on things, purchases like that. So I went back for a second visit. This time I had one of my cousins with me who is kind of like a backyard mechanic. We looked at the car. He thought it looked great. He started taking pictures. And one of our other cousins just happened to call him. He's showing my cousin pictures. They're like, oh, yeah, cuz you got to get that car. And in our conversations with the owner, he happened to mention that he had purchased the car in Upper DC. That kind of gave us a reason for pause. My cousin was wondering whether or not there could be some possible snow damage. So he decided to get on the ground and look under the car. Lo and behold, there was severe salt damage. The car was rusted, the strut, everything under this car looked a mess. And that's when we decided to walk away from that car. How many times are you looking at the outside or the presentation or the package of a job, of a business opportunity, of a potential relationship or a friendship, and you're not looking beyond the mask? I would challenge you all on this Friday edition of the Angela Ray Show to look beyond the mask. That is your Ray of Motivation moment for this Friday. All right, I am so excited for my next guest. She is a graduate of Appalachian State University, where she received her degree in food and nutrition. She received her culinary training from the Art Institute of Charlotte. You all may have seen her on Guy's Grocery Games, Flip My Food with Chef Jeff, as well as Cutthroat Kitchen. And most recently, as if all of that was not fabulous enough, she has become an entrepreneur and started her own spice blends line. So I'm just excited that she could take the time out of her very busy schedule to get here with us on the Angela Ray Show. Welcome, Chef Monica Smith. Hey, Monica.
Hey, Angela.
How are you?
I am great and my schedule busy. Girl, have you had time to take a break from writing books and being that magnificent Tyler Perry actress and being on FX, Fox, Queen Sugar, and then the movie Insatiable, and then you've done let me see. I saw FX, ATL, Queen
You
Sugar.
was looking me up.
Yeah, girl. Sorry, I've seen all the movies that you've done, and then you're doing some other movies too. So I know you're a Tyler Perry trusted actress. So you've got a lot of major things going on as well. So talk about me. You're busy as well.
Well, like right now, though, we're all at the house. We're just,
Yeah.
right now, entertainment, while it has kept us, uh, alive and we've used it to feed our funny bone and to have a distraction from what's going on. We're all at the house. It's not an essential business, so we're not doing too much on television and films right now. But it's my understanding we will be coming back safely and soon.
Yes.
So you went to college initially, got a food and nutrition degree, and
Uh-huh.
then later you decided to go back and to get a culinary degree. What prompted that change?
Well, you know what I always say. I went to college, had a wonderful time at Appalachian State University, met some great friends, still have those lasting relationships today. Go App State. And then they've been, we're caught in COVID right now, so they're dredging up some old video footage. And I thought,
Uh
yeah, that's what I said. I was like, oh, God. They got me dropping into the
oh.
floor on some old video footage. I said, I didn't think we had old video footage. But yeah, I did. I know. I was like, I didn't think that stuff could survive, that long. But at any rate, yeah, I decided to go back to school. My brother and I both went to Appalachian State. Hindsight 2020. I thought we really could have been roommates, but we weren't. We could have saved my parents a whole lot of money. But I lost my brother to suicide in 2009. And so I had to find another way to survive um, his death. So when you go through something like that, something that's traumatic as a suicide, you have to find a way to kind of pull yourself through, because I went through my own level of depression. And when you go through that, it's like, how do you find a way to breathe? How do you find a way to live? So I decided go back and pick up another $20,000, $30,000 in school loans. That's what I did. So I found my way through. Music is actually my first love. A lot of people don't know. I played the piano. I competed and played the piano. I wanted to play in Carnegie
Wow.
Hall. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. I played classical music. I did. I played really tough pieces, but I decided to go ahead and get into food. And so food was one of those ways where I was able to find my way back to reality. And so that's when I decided I wanted to hone my craft. I always worked in the front of the house in the hospitality industry. So I did that. And then I always looked and said, oh, I wanted to own my own restaurant. I wanted to own my restaurant since I was 6. And my brother and I had that dream together. So I said, just hone that craft. I was a caterer. So let's just make it official, Monica, and become a chef. And so I just said, I thought I knew a whole lot about food, but when I went to culinary school, I realized I didn't know as much as I did. And so I learned how to cook in 9 different countries, and we
Oh,
learned how to
wow.
cook 1,800 different recipes. Yeah, I was like, you didn't know jack, So I learned so much about food. And then that's when I crafted in 2010 my own hashtag, Eat to Live Longer. And the 2 stands for him because when we were up at Appalachian, he pledged Omega Psi Phi. I did Delta Sigma Theta, and his line number is 2. So that's why you see that 2 in the Eat to Live Longer.
Wow. So
Yeah.
I did not know that you had a classical music background. It sounds like you could do something like music and meals with Chef Monica. That sounds like something you should explore.
Hey, well, you know what?
Mm.
One of the biggest things is when you come in my kitchen is always a lot of music, dancing, and a lot of different things of that. So I do that, but I don't. But you know that music and meals, you might be on to something. The toughest piece I ever played was Rachmaninoff in D minor. So music majors and people who play the piano will understand what that is. So I played by memory. So I have that gift, but I have two cousins. I have, well, I'm the sixth generation in my family to play the piano. But my two
Oh,
cousins,
wow.
yeah, Jack and Josh, they're twins. They're AKAs.
Mm-hmm.
And they, we have this great little, tip. You know how we do go back and forth, but they are
Yeah.
not all over the country for their music, and God knows I love them to death. But they play by ear. I don't have that gift. My mom plays, and she still plays, but she's great. She plays also by sight. She knows how to play by reading music. But I had a gift of memorization, but I had to read music as well. But I took music for 13 years.
Wow. That just, I don't know now. I could, that just seems like a really nice evening. A baby grand piano, like, you bring out the food and then you sit at the baby grand.
Yeah, yeah, that was my
That,
thing. I wanted to play in Carnegie Hall.
wow.
Yeah,
So you went back to school,
yeah.
got this culinary degree,
Uh-huh.
and then you were out there. Some of what you've been able to do, you've been on national television with your culinary skills, Guys Grocery Games, Cutthroat Kitchen.
Yeah.
What was it like competing on the national level?
I said, Monica, you must be a damn fool. Oh, wait a minute. We can't cuss on TV, Kim. I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry. But I was like,
Yeah,
you
I don't have a censor. Yeah, we live. I don't have a censor. I can't beat.
okay. I won't be a bad girl. Let me calm down. So I said, Monica, you must be crazy. So one of the things when I finished graduating from the Art Institute, after I got my degree, they contacted the Art Institute and asked for a chef if they were interested in doing these demos on stage. And so that's when I got in touch with a major chain, a grocery store chain. And when I did that, from there, somehow I wound up getting to the Food Network. And I was like, you must be
Mm.
crazy. I got called out to Guys Grocery Games. I never, ever competed in my life. But I've always been the one in the family that's always done the crazy thing. I was the one that sang the songs, that did, the dance. I was always the one I was a fat kid. But then when I grew up, I grew into this thin, petite girl with the backside. That's what I was always known as. But I was the one that always didn't mind getting up on stage. It doesn't bother me to be in front of 500 people or talking and all that kind of stuff. That never ever phased me. But when I got to go on Food Network, I was like, I looked around and I thought, I ain't never competed before, and I'm on national TV, actually international TV, and I'm competing,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm up there, and I'm up here with this one chef. They competed with, they cooked for Will Smith. Another one was cooking for I cooked for this Russian billionaire. This one cooked for somebody else, and somebody else cooked for. I mean, they were cooking for these top dog people, and they all turned around and they looked at me and they said, "Who you cook for?" I said, "I cook for the church." I said, "Have you cooked for church people before, girl?" Ground. And then guy came back there, Guy Fieri, and he's little. He's actually thin. He looks fuller in person. But when he got back there, he said something to me that I have never ever forgotten. He said, for some of y'all, this is going to be the first time you've gone on TV. And he said, what you need to remember is, he said, how do you want to be remembered? And I thought, yeah.
Mm.
And so when he said that, I thought, okay, ding, boom, I got it. So what happened was, as I went through that whole process, I have never in my life seen that many cameras. It was like being at the White House. It was, there had to be at least 12 cameras just on me, following me. And they
Oh.
showed us where they were. Oh,
Oh.
I was like, oh, okay, I get it. So I did something on the screen that I knew would capture the attention of the camera. And it wound up putting me in the promo reel for the first 3 years because it was the first season of Guys Grocery Games. So I was in the promo reel for
Wow.
3 years. My episode aired no less than 24 times in the first year. And then I was one
Wow.
that didn't get the sauce to the plate. And had I got the sauce to the plate, the whole thing was I would have won. So and when I did, Guy Fieri was like, "Let me taste that sauce," and he was like, "Oh my God, it's money!" And so all the judges were like, "Can we taste it?" And he's like, "No, I can't let y'all taste it." And they said, and he said on the TV or right there, he said, "If you got that sauce to the plate, you would won that round." So I got knocked out on the second round, and I was like, well, it happens. So I was always known as the one who didn't get the sauce.
Yeah.
So now, Cutthroat Kitchen, I'm gonna put that. I have to put that story in the book. There's some other things that went on behind the scenes, but that show is crazy.
Mm.
They called me. I did not call them. They called me.
That's amazing.
Diane said, "I remember
I
you." Yeah, my son said, "Why
I
did
just
you throw the sauce up in the air?"
that would have been an idea. That definitely could have been an idea.
That would have been made on
So
TV.
you were on the very first season.
I
That's
was.
amazing.
Yeah, I was on the very first season of God's Grocery Games. I would go back to that show in a heartbeat.
But we're going to say the Cutthroat Kitchen experience for the book. They got to buy the book.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta buy.
Okay. Got to
That
buy the book.
Yeah, it's a personal story for that. I can't tell that right now. You got to buy the book for that one.
Well, we will stay tuned. We'll definitely stay tuned for that. So you were also, though, on Flip My Food with Chef Jeff, right?
I was. Chef Jeff is an amazing human being. He and I still stay in contact to this day. He's very blunt. He's very direct. He and I hold no punches. He did he did not have to talk to me. He did not have to take me under his wing. Um, he's very direct, and he tells the story. He did 10 years in the federal pen for selling drugs, and he told me how he sold to the Bloods and the Crips, and how he went into prison and refined his skills as a chef. And as we know, he's a multimillionaire. He told me how to refine myself as a chef and how to bring in multiple streams of income. And he and I still stay in contact today. So he is,
That's awesome.
yeah, he's given me some great information, business leads. Um, so I consider him um, a friend. And so there's some things that he's made contact with me today. Um, and so he'll pick up the phone. We text each other. He's very down to earth. Him,
That's awesome.
yeah. He's the chefs. You know, it's rare that you can come across people like that. Um, but he's good as gold.
So you've been on national television, but you're also almost like a resident chef in the Charlotte area on many of the local affiliates
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
How often can people catch you, and do you have anything coming up that people in the Charlotte area might be able to catch you on? Or, for those of us outside of Charlotte, maybe we can go on those news stations' websites to catch you.
Well, yeah, I am definitely. I still have a lot of footage that stays on. I did a lot when I did Food Network, Food Network, Guys Grocery Games. The producer for Charlotte Today was the first TV show that picked me up in the local area. His wife, that producer is no longer there, but his wife, I wish I could remember the producer's name. His wife saw me and said, um, "Hey, that chef's from Gastonia. You need to get her on the show." And that's how I started doing local TV. Charlotte Today was the first network here locally that put me on. After that, everything else opened up a lot with WBTV, CCB. I did some with Fox. I'm on magazines, local TV. I have so much here. Hype magazine, doing a tremendous amount of work behind the scenes. You're gonna see me come out in an article there. I'm writing for Hype magazine. You're gonna see me come out in the Loop magazine here in Charlotte. There's some other major things coming behind the scene that I can't say. I just have to wait for it to come out. Uh, I'm really excited about the work that I'm doing with Hype. That's now being run by my exclusive photographer, Curtis Lawrence, who's been filming me, photographing me for 10 years. Um, we have a phenomenal relationship. I have an awesome team with Nate Summers and Shelton Brown, who is on here. Then I have Diane Nixon, who's my uh, best friend, sous chef, and you know what we do. We go way back with Diane because you've seen us up on the show. And I've got great support system with my mom and dad, Jennifer and Fred Davis. I mean, just so many people, I can name, but you always forget somebody. You run the danger in doing that. Because I wouldn't be standing here today without a lot. I've got friends that's helped me along the way. And there'll be as soon as we get past COVID and as soon as I get through big milestones, I've got the love of my life, who I'm now starting to put video footage up of him. I put up one today and on Instagram.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that.
yeah, I know. Everybody said y'all need your own TV and on your own YouTube. I said he'll be the reason I go viral. Trust me. And then I've got kids. My daughter's here from California. She's stuck over here in North Carolina because she's been in school in California. But my two sons. So it's a great. I have a really great support system. I couldn't ask for a better. I can't ask for a better support system. I'm surrounded by some amazing women. Um, I've, going to do some collaboration with Bettina Hogue. She's got an amazing song. People have been hearing me do her Who She. She's got a Who She movement going on. It's just a lot of stuff that's happening. So I'm really excited.
That is good. Support systems are always important, especially for people who may be pursuing what some might say is a non-traditional path. When you're out there and you're doing things that either haven't been done or they're not done every day in the way that you're looking to do them. Now, you being a chef, of course, so many people are at home, so many people are cooking every
Yes.
single meal. I will say for me, I went for about 5 weeks where literally I ate nothing that I did not prepare. I didn't even trust takeout. I was like, nah, it's too early. They saying it don't, it's not transmitted through food. I don't know that. Let me just wait this out. So some of us are, we're pretty burnt out with the recipes and the things that we've been cooking. Can you offer some tips to kind of help us spice up this quarantine cooking that we have going on right now?
I'm the same way. I feel like, and I'm a movie buff. And so, what is the movie that is the cartoon movie? I think it's Madagascar, where he gets in there and he says, yo, in-flight slave, and that's what I feel like at home. It's like the in-flight slave. I'm cooking repeatedly. But, tools, I've got my new Instant Pot, and I'm not advocating for Instant Pot, but, trying to do things new, I still say cook at home first because I think that's really important because you know what's going in your food. And when you cook at home, you're not you can cook fresh and you can hopefully you're cooking fresh. That's the first thing. And hopefully you're using my spice blends. That's the other thing. Because you can get those at chefmonicablends.com. And I should be saying that because I know my team is like, you ain't said the website. So chefmonicablends.com. But at any rate, cooking at home is still important, but always look at things try to get things that you haven't done before. And I know it's hard to do that because it's like, I don't know where to go and I don't know what to do because even as a chef, sometimes I have to come out. If you are able to afford it, maybe get a new piece of equipment or a new, what I like to say, kitchen toy. Bring that in because sometimes that can open up your eyes to using food in a new light or a new fashion. I'm not saying don't go out and eat because we do eat out once a week because I do try to support the restaurant industry as well because I do think that is important. And there are a lot of cooks, a lot of restaurants out here who are working very hard. So I do want to advocate for them. But as you're at home, when the new fruits come out, that's a great way. Look at adding fruit or fresh veggies if you are not doing that, or maybe frozen into your meals. Um, I like to take, like right now, I'm eating a bowl of watermelon. Some people, I don't think you should do anything else to watermelon other than eat it fresh. But there are some great recipes that you can use to make watermelon salsa, making watermelon salads, adding maybe a different texture to it, or making some sweet and savory components to it. And I did that. That's going to come out in one of the magazines that I put together. You've got some great mangoes that are out there, nuts. Do some things texturally that are different. This instant pot, oh Lord, that thing has changed my life. I'm making a brisket.
Okay.
Yeah, I now I'm all about the pressure cooker now, because I can do a brisket. I had a 13-pound brisket, and now
Mm.
I can make. I broke it down, because after you break it down, I broke it down to 4 pounds. I'm getting ready to do it, the other half of it tonight. I can make it in an hour and 15 minutes. For a brisket, for every pound of a brisket, it takes 1 hour for every pound. Now I can do this. Now I can take a brisket, break it down. I can make a deconstructed pot roast, meaning I can cook the brisket here. Then I can make a pot of potatoes, carrots, and celery. And then I can have a nice little sauce that comes out of this Instapot with it. I can take the other part of that brisket and have the meat and use it for steak, eggs, and hash browns the next day. I can use the rest of the meat to make sandwiches. So now I'm not going to the store to buy some processed meat. I can do different things. So I'm having to look at different ways of using the food. So it's kind of hard to tell people who don't normally cook how to use things. But what I'm saying is, try to use what you have in your house, because I don't want to make 5,000 runs to the grocery store, because that gets expensive. Um,
Right.
but use what you have in the house. If all you have is rice, think about using rice for breakfast. I have, instead of grits, use rice. Um, Instead of using, if you're always using potatoes and pasta, substitute out rice. And if you got, there's a lot of different rices, so you can do numbers of things. You can even use rice with some veggies, and make a nice little, instead of pasta salad, make a little rice salad. So it's the vehicle. What I'm saying is, change
Mm-hmm.
the vehicle of how you use food.
Okay.
Happen.
Now,
I'm looking at this.
go ahead.
I saw a comment come up.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I just
Um, I was going to ask you about the yard bird, because so many of us don't eat as much pork or as much beef as we used to. I mean, I still get down with the swine sometimes, but I have been trying to like vary chicken. There's fried chicken, there's baked chicken. Crock pot chicken is something I discovered about 2 years ago, changed my life, because you
Mhm.
season it very, you don't have to put a whole lot of seasoning on it. And then that broth that comes off of that crock pot chicken, I bag that up. I put it in the freezer. That's my soups. That's my beans. That's my gravy. Like I do, so I could use grits. If I'm going to make some shrimp and grits, use that instead of water, and instead of buying, chicken stock or chicken broth from the store. So I love that. But, then there's grilled chicken, there's barbecue chicken. Sometimes, if I can get my hands on Scotch bonnet peppers, I will do a curry chicken. But Scotch bonnet, sometimes they're hard to find sometimes. And I went to a grocery store one time and they tried to pass off um, some habaneros. I was like, I might not be no chef, but those are habaneros. I know that that's not Scotch bonnet. I know what a Scotch bonnet smells like, and I know what it looks like. But what else can we do with chicken? Because, yeah.
Oh, you like it hot, girl. You
Oh
like
yeah. Well, I don't put a lot of Scotch bonnet, but it gives it just a little bit of kick. You can put maybe like 2 Scotch bonnet peppers for a whole pot of curry chicken.
Yeah. Well, I see. I don't do heat like that, but you can. Let me tell you the other thing that you can do. You can take the chicken. If you have olives, now I didn't like olives. If you have olives, you can take your chicken, some olives, some onions, and you can take tomatoes and cook and bake that and put it together. You can saute it. You can take your chicken, and you can take. I like grilling. Like I like if you're going to saute your chicken in the pan, take your maybe take an orange, cut it in half, and sear that orange right on top of the pan. Oh my God, that is
Girl,
so good.
I
Yeah,
don't have an orange, I don't think, but yeah, but I'm just thinking about the color, what that orange does to brighten up the dish. I'm big on looking at what my dishes look like when they're finished and as I'm cooking them. So
that color
yeah.
that comes out of there, and
Mm-hmm.
alcohol and wine. I just picked up a nationwide client. I'm not able to announce that nationwide client just yet, but it is an essential client. So it's got to do with alcohol. But using different. If you have alcohol in your home, just use just a little bit of alcohol. Like maybe when let's say you're going to sear off some chicken. Maybe it's chicken thighs or maybe it's chicken breast. And when you get right to the end and the chicken's done, and you're gonna just about get ready to pull that chicken out. Maybe you've got some onions in there and some other components in there. Pour maybe about less than a quarter cup in there, but be careful because remember that alcohol is flammable. So if some heat hits it, it's gonna catch fire. So don't just throw it in there and then grease is flying everywhere. After a while, it'll calm down. So put a little bit of alcohol in there, let it cook all the way down, reduce down, and get real syrupy because it's going to be really nice. I'm sorry, the love of my life just walked in. Hey, dear.
Hey, baby, in here lying.
We want to see him. Now he we can hear the voice. We want to see him. He got to make a cameo real quick.
Okay, well, you got to make a cameo, dear. They want you to, he's dragging him from work.
Who's we talking to?
This is Angela. Be nice because we're live.
Oh, hey,
and your mommy was on here too.
Hey, Mom.
Well,
I
big
gotta be
mommy,
good.
they can't hear you. Got to be big.
Oh.
Hey.
Okay.
How
That's
you doing?
Angela. That's my song.
Oh, Suki now.
Oh, look, he bought me a treat.
Ooh, chocolate.
Yeah, he always brings me a treat. He's so sweet.
Yeah. It's a treat, okay. This one she got good to get.
Oh, there's another.
Okay.
She gonna have to be good to get that one.
I'm gonna walk away from that comment.
He's so special.
Y'all go back to doing what you're doing.
Don't forget, I got your brisket over
here. Yeah, get it right. Bye.
Bye.
You see that when a girl, when I told him I put him on Instagram. He said, "Okay, I'll look at it." So, so yeah, when you do that
what you gonna do with that? Hold up. What you gonna do with that brisket juice? What'd you say you gonna do with that?
Okay, so the Instapot, you can saute in it. Anytime you have any juice, like when you say you have that leftover juice in there from that chicken, when we talk about reducing your the juice in that pan, what we're talking about is cooking it down. When you cook it down and reduce it, we want you to reduce it. It's going to get real syrupy. When it gets real syrupy, that's a nice rich sauce that can get in there. And the more you cook it down, the more flavor it gets intense. And when you reduce it, we say like reduce it to a third, meaning we want you to cook it all the way down. And it's going to get all this great flavor in there. And when you get it to the point where it's almost what is called au sec, and that's a French term meaning dry. The pan is almost dry. Don't get it all the way out. You're going to cook it all the way down. Take it off the burner. Take 2 tablespoons of cold butter, and I mean real butter. I'm not one to get this. It's almost butter. It should have been butter. Could have been butter. Died before it came. Butter. What I'm saying? Get butter, because when they do that, they putting all other kind of stuff in there to be. I'm like, just get the butter. So get butter, but unless you got some kind of special diet, I don't want nobody to be all, just whatever you're gonna do. So get butter, put the butter in there, and then swish it around in the pan, and then you're gonna get a nice sauce. Don't put it back on the heat, because what's gonna happen is it's gonna emulsify, and it's gonna have a nice little sauce come up, and then you're gonna be able to spread that over that meat or the rice, potatoes, or whatever else you have on there, girl. Fine.
Quinoa.
Quinoa, and that's a nice protein. So then you can just put like a little bit of salt. And I don't use iodized salt. You can use Himalayan salt. You can use kosher salt. You can use sea salt. I like coarse kosher salt because I can feel it in my hand. And when you use iodized salt, you tend to use too much, which is why you oversalt stuff. So when using kosher and when you're using sea salt, things like that, you don't use as much because you can taste it. And so that's why chefs stay away from iodized salt. Well, most chefs. So I always tell people get coarse or sea salt, and then that's when you'll salt your food. And then I like to use um, cracked black pepper. That's just the chef in me.
Me too.
Yeah, because you get when you start to crack that corn, that black pepper, you get the essential oils and the smell and all that flavor that comes out of there. Ooh, Lord have mercy! And then when it hits that heat, it just releases not natural oil, and that's why things taste better when it's fresh.
Yeah.
If you can't get fresh, frozen is the next. And when I can turn that pack over and it says broccoli and water, I'm good. But if it say broccoli and I'm starting to read stuff and I can't pronounce and I gotta go get somebody to help me read it, I'm putting the pack back. I'm like, I don't know what
Right.
right, I'm done. So you wanna stay as close, you wanna get food in its most nutrient dense form, meaning there's not a whole lot of other stuff in it. That's why I have that eat to live longer. And that's why I have to be careful. I've learned to be careful about what I eat because I've ever since I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, you know, anti-inflammatory type an anti-inflammatory type diet is what I have to be careful of because we're putting things in our body that's killing our cells, and we got all these free radicals rolling around in our body, and it's
Hmm.
killing our cells. So that's why you see me with this Eat to Live Longer campaign. What?
So let's talk little bit about your spice blend line. Now, I'll be honest. I know that I think you did a repackaging and you renamed the spices, but I think I still have one of the old, some of the old packaging.
Yeah,
But it's look, I can't remember the name of it, but it started with a K, and it was thyme and yep, that's it. I when I was not eating out, and I have been doing some takeout lately, every now and then. But when I was like, I have to cook every single meal at the house, I had a craving for pizza,
mm-hmm.
and I was like, well, you're gonna have to make the pizza at the house. So
uh-huh.
I took that spice blend and I added it to my dough because I was like, I've heard of like herb pizza dough or stuffed crust, and I was not trying to do no stuffed crust pizza. I'm not that fancy. But I was amazed at how much flavor that my pizza crust had. That's all I added to it was that seasoning. And I was like, oh, this is the truth in some pizza crust.
Uh-huh. That Kipling is everything. I made it so it could go on, and now it's called the herb citrus blend. That Kipling was made
Okay.
because I made it in the street. I was at the Highland Fest in Gastonia, and Kipling is my one of my brother's best friends, and so Kip was eating. Um, he was on this diet, and he said one of my nicknames is Pecos. So he comes up to me. I had my grill out there, and he said, "Pecos, everybody's frying chicken out here at Highland Fest." He said, "I can't have fried chicken. Can you make me something? Can you just throw something together?" And I said, "Yeah, okay, I'll throw you something together." He said, "What you want?" He said, "Just put me something together. It just can't be fried." So I was like, "Okay." So I was like, "All right." So I just started throwing some herbs together. And he ate it. He said, "Man, this thing is good." And I was like, oh, "Okay, this works." So he he um he ate the chicken, and I said, "Man, that was pretty good." So I took that same spice blend, and then I started using it over and over and over. So when he's coming in for dinner. Like I do my little meal prep plates. So this is when I can't catch up. All he does, they come in, pull it out, stick it
Papa can't wait.
get their plate, and they go to the microwave. Um, so he came in, popped his egg chicken, and then I just kept using that spice. It became so popular with the family and my sorors and our sorors and and everybody else. And I said, "Well, man, this is good on salad. This is good here." And I was like, "Man, okay, I'm on something." So my mom kept saying, if you don't put this stuff in a bottle, I was like, Mom, ain't nobody gonna buy this stuff. And then I kept making it. And then 2 years ago, my chapter SAR said, look, put mine in a bag and I'll pay for it. And then they cornered me
Ooh.
at the sisterhood. Yeah, they cornered me at the sisterhood. They started ordering bottles. They said, look, we're sick of you. You get ready to do this. And I was like, oh, okay. I was throwing every excuse known to man. And I was working with my team on something else, and Nate kept telling me, he said, you need a product. And Curtis kept saying, you need to step out on faith and let go of this fear. And I was like, ain't nobody gonna buy this stuff. I said, hey, I mean, it's a great product. They're my personal recipes. Gina, I got that spice blend from my cousin, and it's the man catching spice. And now it's called the red pepper dill. And when
Wait a minute. Hold up. Did you say the man catching spice?
oh girl, yeah, that thing is bad. When I tell you
Okay, so
that red pepper dill is bad to the bone. And when I have Sister Nancy, one of the nuns from Holy Angels, uh, one of the nuns from Holy Angels said her best friend said she's been single, I think, for 21 years. She sent me an email. I could probably pull it up here. Send her an email. She said, she said, I've been single for so long and I started cooking with that red pepper deal and I'm not single anymore. I said, it's the man catcher. I promise you. I've used it on steak, Gina steak, that Gina spice. Men love that spice. And women, I had a woman come up to me when I was on the Southern Women's Show tour. She ate that. I put it on a salad. She started crying.
oh wow.
Said, this thing is, she said, this is everything. She said, I've got to get this. And that's what me and Shelton, we stood back and we were like, oh my God. I've had people propose to me, men and women. I've had people. Hey, listen, I had an 88-year-old woman. I wish I had a camera. She said, honey, I need to buy 2 of these. I need another man in my life. I said, well, all right, sister. So.
Well, I kind of paused on that one because most people are in quarantine right now,
Yeah.
and people are trying to figure out how they're gonna date, how they're gonna get their boo. I was actually just on a webinar earlier about dating during the quarantine and how people are being creative. But yeah, when people can start back cooking again, that might be something you want to let's like throw out there, throw out some of those testimonials.
I listen. All I keep saying is, there's just some things that I just, and I'm telling you, it works. That's all I can say. It just works, and that's just one of those things. It just works.
I got you. You have a question, Monica, about recommending foods for inflammation.
Recommending foods for inflammation. I know
Yeah, what foods are good to eat to keep down inflammation?
one of the things that I highly recommend that I use, well, let me start out with the spices. One of the things that I highly recommend, and I want you all to keep in mind that I'm not a doctor and I'm not an RD, so I'm going off things that I've learned along the way. Is turmeric is one of the best spices on the face of the planet that you can use for anti-inflammatory. I have it in 2 of my spice bottles. One, it's in the one that's not released yet, and that's the Mediterranean. It's the turmeric garden, which is it's in the NC red. So I still have some that I kind of hold on to. Nuts are a good one. Soy, from what I understand, is a good one. Peppers, tomatoes, salmon, I believe is one. Beets. Don't shake your head at beets. Beets are good. I like golden beets. Roast them, but even if you get red beets, roast red beets. Put some roast red beets. Don't cut the skin off of them. Put them in the oven with some water and fresh rosemary, salt, pepper, and some olive oil. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Ginger is a good one. I use ginger all the time. Olive oil is a good one. Tart cherries are pretty good. as an anti-inflammatory. And I'm trying to think. I was looking to see if I could find this. I have a smoothie that I used to make, and I can't find that recipe. And if I can find it, I might try to put it up on Facebook. But those are some examples of anti-inflammatory type foods. Kale is good.
Okay.
Um, and I'm trying to think what else. But there are some things. But again, you always want to consult with your doctor on what you want to do. Exercise is always a good thing. Anytime you stop exercising, that's never a good thing. And I'm finding that out now as I'm going through COVID, because the weather's bad, can't get in the gym. I have to do that. Your body needs that exercise. I know. I'm these questions are coming up fast. Everyone is going vegan, gluten free, keto, no bread, no pork, etc. Are we losing our love for food? Can we have a healthy balance? I'm one of these chefs, and I've always had this concept of when I tell people I don't believe in fad diets. I don't believe in cutting out things that you like. I don't, because when you start cutting out things, and what I learned when I was studying nutrition, when you start cutting out things, you'll eat it eventually, and then you'll blow back up. Now, the older we get, your doctors will tell you there's some things that you can't eat. Again, I do have a chronic illness that is multiple sclerosis. It has disabled me. I'm not supposed to be walking. I'm not even supposed to be able to get out of bed. So I am a miracle walking. Let me say that from the jump. I have had some health issues. I do have a doctor that has told me that I have to change the way I eat. And do I feel better on the diet that he put me on? Yes. Did I like that? Nope, because I just didn't think that I should have to take out some things. I understand that I can't process food. My body cannot process food the way that I did before, like lactose, dairy, gluten. Gluten to me is like that does push um, that does push inflammation issues for a lot of us. For MS patients, inflammation is the greatest issue for us. So I understand that gluten free living, but for me, it has other significance. I don't like having to do that. I still think I can have some gluten, but I have to have it in a more minimal capacity. Yeast is what the greatest issue is for me, as my doctor talks about it. So I'm starting to study the stuff about gut yeast, and I think there's a lot of truth to this gut yeast. It's just I don't want to
Mhm.
get too far into that discussion until I study more about it. But I don't. I would hope we're not losing our love for food. I just don't think we should throw the baby out with the bathwater, as they say. Tell me earlier of your events, Audrey. That's my
Audrey, could you? Oh, you know who? Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know what she meant by that. My other
That's what I was actually going to say. Can you clarify what you meant? Because I wasn't sure about that question as well. And thank you, Edwin, for your question. Edwin is one of our very loyal supporters, along with Joanna here at the Angela Ray Show. So we
Okay,
appreciate them being on tonight.
thank you. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I just don't think we should get away from too much. Like, for instance, I'm not supposed to have sugar, but that man bought me dark chocolate. Dark chocolate's good for you, better for you than anything. But I can't eat milk chocolate like I used to.
Okay.
I'm not supposed to eat peanuts. I'm not supposed to eat soy. If I told you what the doctor told me I couldn't eat anymore, I said, well, darn, I might as well just eat a sheet of paper with salt and pepper. Be done with it. So, but when you start throwing things out, I always have a cheat day. Um,
Mm-hmm.
my cheat day is on Sunday. So, but that doesn't mean
Okay.
I'll eat a whole cake. That just means if
Right.
I eat a slice of cake, I'm gonna eat it on Sunday. But if I
Okay.
said I'm gonna cheat at dinner, then I'm cheating every day, and that doesn't help me.
Right. So we're going to see if she's going to clarify her question. How can people get your spice blends if they're interested? Do you have any deals going on right now?
Yes, please go to chefmonicablends.com. And right now, if we want everybody to subscribe and get the free e-cookbook. There's going to be, I'm working on the next 2 e-cookbooks. And anybody who gets the e-cookbook, you can get 1 spice blend free. I think that's still the case. So you get, if you order, I think if you get 3, you can get the 4th one free. So
Okay.
you get some great, you still get some great deals, or you get 20% off. And right now, the Southern Women Show Richmond is having an online bingo game. So on the online bingo game, they're getting 20% off there. So we're doing a number of things, and this is how I earn a living. So yes, I want everybody to buy the spice blend. I have a ton more recipes. Um, and I appreciate everybody being so patient in the beginning, because I was self-manufacturing my own spices, and I was putting one non-caking agent in there called cellulose, and it was non-GMO, it was organic. It was probably about the purest thing I could have put in there. So now I don't. I have the company that makes Duke's mayonnaise is manufacturing my spices. I'm not doing that anymore. So you won't see those caking issues anymore. The label will change. Um, I have 2 companies, Entertaining with Chef Monica and Chef Monica Blends. So thank you all. Do you expect? No, my spices don't contain a whole lot of sodium. Thank you, Miss Bridget. And yes, you have hypertension, and I monitor my sodium. No, they don't. The one that has the lowest amount of sodium that I have out right now is the Kipling. But no, they don't have a whole lot of sodium. As a matter of fact, I have to add salt when I cook with my spices. And even though I have probably a higher salt um, threshold than most people, even the people who I talk to, they call me and they say, "Do you have salt in those?" And I say, "Yeah." So I'm like, "Yeah," but it's they're they I deliberately did not make it. I had to make sure that I made it so you all could add salt and pepper if you wanted to.
Okay. Well, these are some good questions coming in. Final tips for us, final cooking tips for us. Are there, I know you mentioned something about wanting to make sure that people didn't put too much salt in their food. Like you were talking about, sometimes when people use iodized salt as opposed to kosher or pink Himalayan, they use too much salt. I've often wondered, and I think I Googled it one time, I put too much salt in something. Once you do that, there's a saying you can always add, but you can't take away. So if you accidentally put too much salt, what's the remedy without throwing the whole dish away?
Well, it's, I don't know that there's a whole lot of remedy if you put too much salt in. I think you just got to go, you probably got to bump up that recipe more so than anything. Some people say you can add more parsley, but once that salt is in there, it's in there. So it does become concentrated. The more you cook it, the more it's going to intensify. Like if you put more salt, if you're boiling rice, you could rinse the rice.
Mm-hmm.
If
Right.
you're boiling pasta, you can rinse the pasta. If you do that with potatoes, but like if you're making a spaghetti sauce, then it's in there. So what you may have to do is add maybe more. If it was me, I would probably put in either maybe more sauce, or maybe an extra half pound of meat if I had that. Maybe a little bit more brown sugar, but you don't. You just kind of have to find that balance in there. But always you can add to, but you can't take away. So
Right.
I would stay away from. I always tell people I don't even have table salt in my house. If I see it, I throw it out. I'm like, why is this in my house? That's always the first question. Even when I bake, and I rarely bake, but even when I bake, um, I don't even have iodized salt.
Yeah, I think I told you before we went live that I rarely bake, but I baked a banana bread. So it's cooling right now. So after the broadcast, I won't let the world see it, but I'll let you see it and I'll tell you what I put in there because yeah, I'm traditionally not a baker. Give me some chicken, some beef, some steak,
Yeah.
whatever. I'll go to town all day, but Yeah, we're gonna see. And I did not. I was thinking about kosher salt. I didn't have any, so I just used I used half the amount of table salt as opposed to what it called for kosher salt. So I was like, okay, we're gonna see if this is gonna work.
I try to ground it up just a little bit more, but I have I really get excited. I like to bake, but only when I can just shut down my entire house and nobody can talk. Because I think bakers, nurses, yeah, it has to be like I can't have any interruptions. I it, I can't, because you have to be so focused. And I'm like, I can't. Y'all got to be quiet. Everybody has to just no TV on, no music, nothing. Now, when I make my marshmallows, it's okay. So, I love
That's
making.
funny.
Yeah, I love making marshmallows. Yeah, everybody has. Y'all got to be quiet. Like the house has to shut down. So.
That's funny. That is funny. Well, Monica, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to talk to us. Monica's already given you her website, but it's been scrolling down at the bottom of the screen throughout the majority of the interview.
Oh,
You can connect with. You see it, Monica?
I do. I see it now. Thank you.
Okay. In addition to connecting with her on Instagram, she's beginning to share videos. She has a lot of recipes that she shares, pictures of food that she's been preparing. And I know that you were on tour with the Southern Women's Show earlier this year. Of course, everything is shut down right now with COVID. So you may be able to catch her a little bit later in the year if that tour resumes, maybe sometime in August or September.
Yeah. Yeah, it will. And so
Yeah.
thank you so much. And I hope that I help just a little bit, and just stay, everybody just stay yourself, stay in the kitchen, don't give up, keep trying stuff, pick up new things. Hey Sora, that's Deandra. That's my Sora. That's our Sora from
Okay.
Appalachian State.
Oh, hey, Sor. Thanks so much for tuning in.
I know. So I just want thank you so much. It was an honor, Angela, and I look forward to seeing you back on the big screen. Are you going to do any more with Queen Sugar? Are you going to be doing anything else when the everything opens up?
Don't know about that show, but I did just have a new show that dropped on Comedy Central a couple weeks ago. So you can check it out on YouTube. The show's called Robbie.
Oh,
And I do have a film that will be coming out later this year, probably sometime. We're waiting on COVID, see what COVID's going to do. So
oh,
once we figure out what that's going to do, we'll probably be looking at some screening options.
okay.
So
All
I'll
right.
keep you posted.
Okay, so you will have some stuff coming out. I'm just glad that you had time to put me on your business schedule.
You're so funny. Well, again, thanks so much, Monica. Again, please make sure that you visit chefmonicablends.com for more information on how you can get those great spices. She has some specials going on. And then also you can stay in touch and sign up for her email list as well.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, Monica, have a good night.
Thank you.
All
That's
right. Bye-bye.
all right.
All right. Well, that is it for this Friday edition of the Angela Ray Show. I hope that you all have enjoyed the guests we've had throughout this week. We're going to have a very special week next week. I won't tell you just yet, but we'll probably reveal that on Sunday night. There will be a theme for all of our guests on next week. Until next time, I just want to remind you of Ray of Motivation number 54. Cleaning a mirror will not change the person who is reflected in it. Next time, I encourage you to go out and be the change. Have a great weekend.